From the stretch, Garcia's 1-0 pitch is swung on, hit well to center field. Griffey going back, he's at the track, he leaps, and he makes the catch! Holy cow, he got it! One of the better catches by Griffey. Holy.
Hi again, this is Corey with D&C Card Breaks back again. Today we are going to break open a box of 1989 Fleer. This box has 36 packs. Each pack has 15 cards plus one sticker. The box itself has some cards that you can cut out, including a Conseco and a Puckett. They also include one sticker, so the total of, not including the sticker, 540 cards in this box. This set is a 660 card set. It's heavy with uncorrected errors and variations, which we'll talk about here in a second. Several notable rookies. Notable meaning you may have just heard of this player. They had maybe a rather distinguished career, not necessarily Hall of Famers or anything, but the most prominent card probably is the Griffey Jr., but we also have Ramon Martinez, Rob Dibble, Gary Sheffield, Tom Gordon, Sandy Alomar Jr., Hall of Famers Craig Biggio and Randy Johnson and John Smoltz, and then also Dante Bichette and Brady Anderson. Interesting tidbit, the Fred McGriff card from this set actually makes an appearance in Home Alone, for those Home Alone fans out there. And then there's really two standout error cards. One is a Randy Johnson card, which again is a rookie card of his, where there was originally I think a Marlboro sign in the background that kind of got away from Fleer, because obviously they don't want to be marketing cigarette usage to kids collecting baseball cards. So they tried to kind of edit that out of the card, and so there are various variations of that. And then the most infamous card of this set, which is the one card aside from the Griffey that I would really like to get, is the infamous, and I'll just say it one time, there's some graphic language, but it's on the card, is the Bill Ripken fuckface card, where on the very knob, the end knob of his bat, is in black Sharpie the words fuckface. I think originally when Billy Ripken kind of was confronted with this and found out about it, he originally had tried to say that he was the victim of a practical joke, perhaps, from his teammates. But then in later years, he finally came clean and just said, he had just received, I think, a shipment of some Louisville Slugger bats, and I think maybe they didn't quite fit what he wanted, and so he was just going to use them for batting practice, I believe, and to avoid using someone else's bat, instead of writing his number, which may have been confusing to see with all the bats kind of just combined or together, he wrote something that would be very distinguishable, which was obviously fuckface. And not thinking, the photographer asked him to pose for a photograph, and he just put the bat on his shoulder, and sure enough, there it was. It supposedly got by Fleer's, I guess quality control checks there, and got in the first, at least, run of cards. Supposedly, as soon as they found out, they tried to correct it, and there are multiple variations of the corrected version, which include just a black square over the fuckface language. There's white out. Anyways, I think there are 4 or 5 different versions of that edited card. So we would like to get that card in here. There are a total of, and Billy Ripken, obviously the I presume younger brother of Cal Ripken. And quite honestly, as far as baseball card collectors go, you know, when you think of Billy Ripken, at least I think of that card as opposed to any of his actual baseball feats. There are 57 cards in this set that I would like to possibly pull from this box. That includes 36 Hall of Famers that are just part of the base card set. There are additionally 5 Hall of Famers in, I'll call them subsets, basically, you know, a couple of players on the same card or something of that nature. And so there's a combined 41 Hall of Fame cards, and then obviously there are a few others, you know, Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, those types of cards that I would like to get, along with some of those rookies. So we'll go ahead and crack open this box. This box is actually in really good shape. Got this box online on eBay, along with some other boxes. I found that as opposed to buying one box and having to pay for shipping on one box, you can actually get much better deals if you buy, you know, a lot or a multi-lot box auction. And so I think I got this box along with 3 other boxes of different cards. You know, I don't like buying the same, you know, 4 boxes of the same card, but got 4 boxes for right at $40. So this was about a $10 box, but it is, like I said, it is in really, really good shape. I mean, it's, you know, it looks like it could have come right out of the production room floor here. Cards themselves look really good. The packs, I should say. I'm just gonna pull these out, and we'll stack them up and get going here. Like I said, we really like to get the Billy Ripken card. Obviously, Griffey Jr. rookie would be ideal as well. Gary Sheffield, member of the 500 Home Run Club. He has a rookie card in here, obviously marred by possible PED usage. Like I said, we've also got Randy Johnson, Craig Biggio, John Schmaltz. So there's some good rookie cards here, and we'll just get started and kind of see what we pull. Recently opened some 87 Tops, and they had bubblegum. I know Fleer is known for bubblegum as well. It's been a while since I've opened a Fleer pack, but there's no bubblegum in here. The pack is a little translucent. You can kind of see, I don't know if you can see, I'm pretty sure that's a Cardinals sticker. Looks like the stickers are on the top there. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's St. Louis Cardinals. Backs are probably a little less translucent because it's packed over, multi-layers here, but let's open these up and see what we get. I don't remember buying very many of these cards as a kid. I do remember buying a lot of Tops and a lot of Donruss in 1989. I think maybe where I'm from, there wasn't a hobby shop per se. It was more grocery stores and drug stores that you'd get your cards, and just don't remember a lot of Fleer. So there is that Cardinal sticker, as I said. Kirk Gibson, Ed Vandenberg, Tim Burke, Pat Tabler, Eric Show, Luis Aguayo, Louis Meadows, Bob Boone, Dwayne Ward, Don Baylor, Steve Jeltz, Jeff Musselman, Sid Bream, and Tim Loudner. So that was a dud, obviously. Not anything at all going on there. These cards don't really, just at first glance here, they don't really pop out. The photography, I can't imagine it's due to the age, just because, they looks like these packs have been stored very well. The photography's maybe a little, looks a little faded, if that makes sense. Doesn't really pop, but they do have kind of that generic 3D effect that card companies were trying to do. You can see his head is into the background of the card to kind of make him stand out a little bit. Dennis Rasmussen, the backs of the card looks like it's a vertical back. The Topps product, 87 Topps that we just looked at, it's a horizontal back. Looks like we've got lots of years of production, which I do like seeing, lots of years as opposed to just, a few years on the back of the card. Before the All-Star break, after the All-Star break, kind of splits there as far as wins and losses, so that's kind of cool. He did really, this particular pitcher did particularly well after the All-Star break, went 9-4 with a 2.41 ERA. So I just kind of keep going here. That's a Major League Prospects card for the Royals. Chris Gwynn, Tony Gwynn's brother. I believe Bob Brower, Tracy Jones, Frank White, Bruce Benedict, Al Leiter, Jim Deshaies, Dick Schofield, Jimmy Key, Gene Nelson. Gene Nelson, that may be Gene Nelson. Looks a lot like Dennis Eckersley. Can't remember if Dennis Eckersley was a right-hander or left-hander, but it looks a lot like Dennis Eckersley there. It could be one of those uncorrected errors, I'm not sure. Ron Jones, Jesse Barfield, and Andy Van Slyke. So, coming up with not much so far. Seems like with the 87 Topps that we did recently, I was getting a couple of good cards almost every pack, or a couple of dud packs with that product as well, but not really 2 in a row. So maybe we'll get on a run here. Odell Jones, Gary Thurman, Mackie Sasser, Mel Hall, Rob Murphy, Dan Pasqua, Dave Dravecki, Kevin Romine, Calvin Schiraldi, Joey Meyer, Sherman Corbett, Charlie Lee, Goose Gossage, who, not a great card. I like to see him in the Cubs uniform, but he is a Hall of Famer. Gary Pettis, Randy Reddy, and a San Diego Padres top prospects card there. So, 3 down at a 36, and if I bought these packs back in the day, I've certainly been disappointed. There's a little serial number on there, I get, or some kind of production number or something on these packs. I don't know as far as the Billy Ripken card, like how far into production that went, and I'm not sure if we would even be able to get the original, or if this box would be part of the corrected cards. But there's a Cal Ripken Jr. That's a good card to get. Love Cal Ripken. So again, kind of a 3D effect with the going in, his head and bat going above the background, although it kind of stops right there where his name is. Jeffrey Leonard, Bill Buckner, infamous Bill Buckner, Kevin Elster, Doug Jones with that see-through batting practice jersey. Jeff Treadway, Dave Gallagher, Chris Spear, Spike Owen, Greg Maddux, a very young Greg Maddux. Man, look at his very thin, just very, very young Greg Maddux there, although this is not his rookie. He's been in the league a couple of years at this point, but I love Greg Maddux. Bill Wegman, Stu Clyburn, Brian Harper, Mike Bilecki, and Pat Sheridan. So, a little better luck now. Greg Maddux, Cal Ripken in the same pack. Things are looking up as far as that goes. If anybody knows anything about these little numbers here, I'm not sure if that would be the same across the board or if that's some type of indicator of when the card was produced. I'd be curious to know what 6813A means. Tommy Gregg, Pat Borders, Jose Lind, Kirby Puckett, Hall of Famer Kirby Puckett. Got another Hall of Famer right behind him here. That's a good card, Kirby. And then Bruce Sutter. I don't know how to. I'm gonna have to figure out how to say that. I should know. He's Hall of Famer, but with the Braves at this point in his career, he was kind of a journeyman relief pitcher. Felix Furman, and that's our first. That's our first really good hit there. Ken Griffey Jr., the kid who was literally a kid almost in this picture. Just in the infancy of his career here, not even an at bat of major league experience at this point. So that's good that we got that card relatively early. We'd love to get a few more of those. Joe McGrain, Jody Reed, Fred Manrique, Keith Brown, Andy McGaffigan, Mike Moore, Will the Thrill, Paul Gibson, Steve Sachs, and Craig Worthington. So got Griffey. That's awesome. Would have been very disappointed if I had not gotten a Griffey Jr. out of here. Maybe we'll get some multiples in our 87 tops. There was a few disappointments. I didn't get a Mark McGuire or Pete Rose, a few others, but I did get one Jose Canseco and two Bo Jacksons, so can't really complain too much. But there's a multi-sticker set. Dave Parker. In an earlier video, I said, it's hard for me to believe he's not in the Hall of Fame. 2,270 hits at this point, 285 home runs, career 295 batter. Had a lot of great years with the Pirates there. Pretty sure he was part of that All in the Family, or the We Are Family Pirates. But he's not in the Hall. Jack Clark, Tommy John, famous for that Tommy John surgery. Mike Maddox, Greg's older brother there. Ruben Sierra, Dale Murphy. A lot of well-known players in this pack here. There's a Dwight Gooden, kind of one of those little subset type cards I was talking about. I had this on my list because I really enjoyed watching Dwight Gooden pitch. Denny Walling, Ron Washington, Ron Darling, Doug Sisk, Darrell Hamilton, Bill Pecota, Tim Teufel, and Greg Swindell. Going back to the Billy Ripken card, there's a little bit of controversy, or conspiracy, I should say. There's a lot of controversy around that card, but I think some people think maybe that Fleer, left that in there on purpose to drum up some, notoriety for their card. Certainly young teenagers who knew about that card would have really, really wanted that card. I was I wasn't quite a teenager. I was still 8 or 9 years old, but definitely would have wanted. I remember that card vividly, and I think I remember someone that had the edited version, but kind of an infamous card amongst kids collecting then. So I could definitely see a scenario where Fleer left that card in on purpose. So that looks to be an insert. I'm not sure about how many packs, how often this insert, how many packs it would take to get one of these, but that's a Hall of Fame player, 89 Fleer All-Star, kind of the cutout, the logo, the silhouette, if you will, of Paul Molitor with a face shot. That's cool. Checklist. Vicente Palacios, Edgar Martinez. So that's a Hall of Fame player in there. Playing third base on this card, but obviously best known for the DH. I think he tore his hamstring, something just never was the same, and just became, a designated hitter. I'm sure he played in the field occasionally, I'm not sure, but, primarily a DH there in Seattle. Ivan Calderon, Tim Bertsas, Brian Holman, Scott Bradley, Ernest Riles. That's a rather unique pose. Can't see the bat. Oh, maybe I don't know. It's a very unique pose for a card. Eric King, Mike Marshall, Terry Kennedy, and Glenn Davis. So got a Paul Molitor and an Edgar Martinez, 2 Hall of Famers in that pack. These packs, again, they seem to be in really good shape. I can definitely tell the box had been stored well. Obviously, there's not much value to these cards, whether they're in good shape or horrible shape, but it's good fun just to open these cards up and see what you get and relive some memories of players from your childhood. Jody Davis, Frank Tanana, Benito Santiago. Got caught up in the PED scandal. That's a Top Prospects card. Don't think either of those guys really panned out. Alfredo Griffin, Bobby Witt, Nelson Santavina, Kevin Seitzer, Pedro Guerrero, Joel Skinner, Randy Johnson. All right, so looks like this is one of those corrected. You can see that big billboard right here, and it is just kind of black. You can definitely see an advertisement over here on I guess that may be the big screen. You see a Coke advertisement here. I don't see a Marlboro advertisement, which is probably right there. So, but this is his rookie card, and it looks like it's the corrected. And I think there are multi variations of this correction as well, but that is cool. He started his career with Montreal. Kirk McCaskill, George Bell, and Doug Jennings. Of course, Randy Johnson had several stops throughout his career. I guess most known for winning the World Series with the Diamondbacks. Played for Houston for just not very long. I think played with the Yankees even towards the end of his career. Seattle, obviously, is where he probably put up the bulk of his career stats. Fred Tolliver, Al Nipper. Doyle Alexander, famously traded for John Smoltz when the Tigers were trying to make a playoff run. Keith Moreland. Some Cubs prospects. Jeff Hamilton, Jack Kruger, Pascual Perez, Steve Farr, Todd Simmons, Dave Rigetti, Craig Reynolds, Devon White, and Lloyd Mosby. All right, so not getting a ton of hits here, a lot of commons, but these cards are they're nicer than I expected. You know, the photos themselves are probably taking up 70% of the card. You know, I think if there is a criticism of this Fleer set, it's that this kind of fence-looking background, this gray with white pinstripe background, maybe takes up a little too much space. But it looks like they maybe did that to kind of create some of this 3D effect here. I like that they include the logos on the cards. The Fleer logo is, rather inconspicuous, which is good. Again, the photography seems a little dulled or faded. I don't think it really is faded. I think it's from age or anything. I think it's just the way they were produced. Just not quite the same pop. But that's Ramon Martinez. I believe that is his rookie. That's Pedro's older brother. Pete Stanicek, Kevin Bass, Storm Davis, Marvell Wynn, Don Slott, Kent Tucove, Cecil Espy, Charlie Paleo. I remember this card. I had this card. Somehow I'd gotten this card, probably via trade, because I don't really remember buying it. But Chris Sabo and Bobby Bonilla, Luis Alicea, Brad Havens, Dwight Gooden. This was one of the cards I had on my list. Kind of a boring Gooden picture, I'd love to have seen him in the windup throwing that fastball, but that's okay. Tom Niedenfuer. So no Billy Ripken card yet. We do have a Griffey. No Barry Bonds yet. No Canseco. No McGuire. No George Brett. No Cal Ripken. Well, no Cal Ripken. No Nolan Ryan. So we got a lot of possibilities still to go here. Toronto. Deion James. There is a Darryl Strawberry and Will Clark kind of special superstar specials card. Loved Strawberry. Steve Lake, Ron Tingley, Kevin McReynolds, Jose Bautista, Don August, Jerry Gleaton, Greg Jeffries, who was a very hot prospect. I'm not sure if that was New York hype or card company hype, but he was his cards were hyped there for his rookie campaign, I think in '88. Joe Carter, Tom Browning, Mike Diaz, Bob Melvin, Rich Gedman, Jamie Moyer, who we talked a little bit about in the '87 Topps video, Jim Gantner, and Mark McLemore. So not much going on in that pack. Not getting the same level of, I would say, if you want to call them hits, I'm just not getting the same level of pulls as the Topps product, that the '87 Topps that we did a little while ago. But maybe things will start evening out here. Felix Jose, So there we go. So that is a rookie card. Kind of baby face there. As I mentioned earlier, he was traded to the Braves from the Detroit farm system for Doyle Alexander. And so that's a Hall of Fame rookie card. Nelson Liriano, Mike Lavalier. I always pulled a lot of his cards. Frank Viola. I was watching the Olympics. I don't know which set of Olympics, but I think his daughter is a diver. Not sure if she won a medal or not, but just a little tidbit of information there. Rick Mahler, Brian Fisher, Mike Campbell, Jose Oquendo, Lee Smith. So there's a Hall of Fame player who definitely bounced around the majors. Those relief pitchers tend to do that. But there he is with Boston as a Hall of Famer. Another Hall of Famer right behind him, Harold Baines, whose career numbers are surprisingly good. Just very solid. You check him out on Baseball Reference. It's not surprising that I think the Veterans Committee elected him into the Hall of Fame recently. Jeff Reed, Luis Rivera, Harold Reynolds, and Jose Uribe. Mark Grace there on the back of this pack. I was a Cubs fan, so enjoyed getting a Mark Grace card. Pete Smith. There's a Kirby Puckett, Eric Davis, Superstars Special, Bob Horner, Keith Atherton, Hojo, Howard Johnson, Eddie Murray, first base DH, Baltimore at the time here, Hall of Famer. Yeah, that's a good card. Mark Clear, Jamie Quirk, Dave West, Rich Yett, Eric Davis, who I've mentioned in the past. I was kind of a fan of Eric Davis. Kelly Paris, Trevor Wilson, Carlos Quintana, and Mark Grace. Kind of became an Eric Davis fan more or less because of the Nintendo, the original NES RBI baseball game. I think it came out after the 1987 season, and Dawson and Eric Davis, Andre Dawson and Eric Davis were on the National League All-Star team in that game, and they batted back to back, and you could hit some home runs with those guys. And then you could also pinch hit with Dale Murphy at some point. He had a ton of home runs, a lot of power on that game. That old game with very poor graphics, but it was a lot of fun. Ozzie Guillen, Rob Dibble, who this is a rookie card. A lot of, if you were a fan of the '90 Reds team, you know how important Rob Dibble was to that team. Bad boy of that team. Wallace Johnson, Mickey Brantley, Mike Aldrete, Guillermo Hernandez, Mike Scioscia, Jeff Ballard, Mike Scott, Jeff Cataret, not sure, Dickie Thon, Ken Phelps, Steve Bedrosian, he always had that beard, if I remember, and then Wild Thing, Mitch Williams. Mitch Williams kind of had that wild, overdone, if you will, follow through. He would just come kind of flying off the mound. And, I remember most notably that home run he gave up to Joe Carter. That's what most people remember Mitch Williams for. There's a non-Hall of Fame pitcher, Roger Clemens. That's because of the PED issues surrounding him, but clearly he's got Hall of Fame worthy numbers. Just probably the best pitcher of this generation, mid '80s to the early 2000s. Melito Perez, Greg Maddux in there too. Candy Sierra, Neil Heaton, Dave Valley, Kevin Mitchell, Fred Lynn, Jay Howell, Rick Aguilera, Dave Smith, Mark McGuire. So that's a good card. Big Mac there. Ron Hassey, Ricky Henderson here, still with the Yankees. Hasn't gone back to the A's yet. Not sure when he goes back to the A's, but that's cool. Don Carmen, Pete Incaviglia. Got a Mark McGuire. No Jose Canseco yet. As a kid, you kind of wanted to get those guys that you just really liked, or that you just really followed. A lot of times that meant the home run hitters, obviously, and so Canseco was always a big draw. This was obviously well before all the PED stuff came out. McGuire as well. Kurt Stillwell. The Philadelphia Phillies prospects there. Hippolito Pena, Danny Darwin, Wally Joyner. Started off extremely hot in '86. 290 average, 22 home runs. But I think a lot of those actually came in May. He just started out on fire in '86, which propped his '87 rookie cards up. There's that Fred McGriff card I was talking about. Next time you're watching Home Alone and you see Kevin going through his older brother's box of trinkets and things, you'll see that Fred McGriff card. David Palmer, Boomer Wells there, Doug Drabeck, Dan Gladden, Terry Blocker, Benny DiStefano, Mike Schooler, Jose De Leon, Bruce Hurst. So no Billy Ripken yet. Again, we did get a Griffey. Would love to get another Griffey. Haven't seen a Barry Bonds. Kind of light. This is, not getting a ton of what I was hoping for, but that's okay. We've got a Hall of Famer right here on the back of this card, in the back of this pack, and Tim Raines. All right, so we got a Frank Williams, Don Paul, Craig Lefferts. There's Oil Can Boyd. Love the Oil Can nickname on the face of the card. Ryan Sandberg, Rhino there. That's a good card. Ryan Sandberg. Yeah. BJ Surhoff. Mike Cook. Herman Gonzalez. Gary Varsho. Matt Noakes. Big John Kruk. Top prospects, Jim Corsi, Bob Milwaukee, Tracy Woodson, Mike Stanley, and there's Tim Rock Raines. A couple Hall of Famers in that pack, Sandberg, Tim Raines. That's better. Got Terry Pendleton on the back of this, probably still with St. Louis, maybe? I don't know if he moved on to the Braves at this point. I don't think so. We'll see here. Mark Grant, Richard Dotson, Alan Ashby, Jack Howell, John Cerruti, Lance Blankenship, Bob Dernier, Jim Clancy, Bobby Bonilla, Juan Berenguer. There's that's one of those, I guess they're inserts. Jose Canseco. So that's not the base card, but that is the 89 Fleer All-Star Team insert. Number 2 of 12. So obviously that doesn't mean 2 of 12 like a serial number. That just means 12 cards in that insert set. Tom Prince, Steve Balboni, and Terry Pendleton still with the cards. Pittsburgh sticker. Ken Patterson. Tom Pear. No, I'm not going to try it. Wes Gardner. Rick Sutcliffe. Dale Sveem, future manager. Greg Minton. Mark Portugal. Manny Trio. Mike Kinnaman. Jimmy Jones. Texas prospects. There's Kevin Brown. Kevin Brown, his career would have an argument for the Hall of Fame. If you look at his numbers, Jesse Orozco, Mike Jeffcoat, Tom Foley, and Charlie Liebrandt. Kevin Brown became the highest paid pitcher, maybe even the highest paid player at some point in his career. I think it was when I can't remember who, it may have signed with Texas. Maybe it was the Dodgers. I can't remember who made him the highest paid player, or pitcher, one of the two. But he was kind of a bit of a hothead, but still had a decent career. Carney Lansford, Matt Williams, Claudel Washington, Kevin Gross, Paul Kilgus, Al Hall, like father, like son, Roberto Alomar, Sandy Alomar Jr. Roberto was a Hall of Famer there. Tim Jones, Don Gordon, Lenny Dykstra. Look at that stance. That's a cool card there. Jim Traber, Tom Filer, Mike McFarland, Mookie, and Willie Upshaw. So I didn't collect these particular cards. Like I said, I do remember buying. I had more of a connection with that 87 Topps that we opened recently. Probably got a little more joy of opening that box, but this is cool too. Very excited to get that Griffey, so can't complain with that. Carmelo Martinez. There's Donnie Baseball. It's kind of looks like maybe a little bit of a miscut. It's a little. The name's a little high on that, it's not centered left to right either, but that's cool. Don Mattingly. Right behind him is Mike Schmidt. Looks like there's a little bit of a printing error with the E there. Not sure if that's the way it is on all the cards or if that's just a printing error on this particular card. Mike Schmidt. Scott Fletcher. Zane Smith. Danny Jackson and David Cohn, Steve Peters, Tom Candiotti, Terry Leach, Joe Orsulak, Charlie O'Brien, Jose DeJesus, Mark Carrion, Corey Snyder, and Paul O'Neill, still with the Reds. Speaking of hotheads, but Paul O'Neill's cool in my book. He was in an episode of Seinfeld, which I've mentioned on here before. Hit 2 home runs in one day. Or did he? There was an in the park home run, perhaps assisted with a error. So call it a triple with a error. So not a home run in the actual books. Yeah, good episode. There's another insert. Will the Thrill. Checklist. Gary Reedus. Jim Presley. Jim Presley looks really tall there. I'm not sure if that's just the photography or what. 6'1", so not particularly tall, but Vince Coleman, Marty Barrett, Jerry Roos, Dave Concepcion, Dave Martinez, Ray Quinones, Rick Rochelle, Jim Wallawander, John Shelby. Oh, saw that Baltimore with the bat knob. Very similar, to the fuck face card. Brady Anderson there. That is a Brady Anderson rookie. 50 home runs in a season. I don't know, but I'm sure he was caught up in the PED scandal. He's not a player that should have been hitting 50 home runs. And Gerald Young. That Brady Anderson card, I thought we might have had it there. Well, that's cool. We have a Darryl Strawberry on the back of the pack, so we know we're going to get something in this pack here. Don Robinson, Dave Bergman, Oral Hershiser, Mickey Tettleton, Bill Doran, Dennis Eckersley. So that's he's a Hall of Famer. Started his career as a starter with the Indians. Became a all-star reliever with the Oakland A's. 161 wins, a 20-win season back in '78 with the Red Sox. So kind of like John Smoltz, the combination of his career as a starter and as a reliever got him to the Hall. Dave Winfield, that's a back-to-back Hall of Fame card with Dennis Eckersley and Dave Winfield. Al Morris, Greg Harris, Jeff Russell, Gerald Perry, Pitcher Perfect, Tom Browning. Still a perfect game. Perfect. That was, yep, to a perfect game. That's cool. Greg Matthews, Jeff Kaiser, and then there's Darryl Strawberry. Darryl Strawberry, obviously I remember, I think it was in '91, he went on to sign, left the Mets and signed with the Dodgers. Can't remember how well or not he played with the Dodgers. I believe he signed at some point with the Yankees. I think he did. I know Gooden did. I think he did too. Have to check that out. Robin Yount, Hall of Famer. Outfielder here. I know he started his career, I think, at shortstop. But Hall of Famer. Dante Bichette, I believe he said, I think that's his rookie card. He had some good years, particularly with Colorado, out in Coors Field. Eric Bullock, Doug DeCenzo, Luis Salazar. There's another Hall of Famer, Tony Gwynn. So we got a Robin Yount and Tony Gwynn in this pack. So we got some good hitters in this pack. Top prospects card, Alejandro Pena, Ray Hayward, Andres Galarraga, the Big Cat, Danny Tartable, John Tudor, Neil Allen, Dave Meads, Mike Witt, and Rance Mullenix. All right, so we got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12. We got 12 packs to go. So we're 2/3 of the way through. Opened 24 packs so far, 12 to go. No Billy Ripken. So maybe we'll get one here. Got the Orioles logo, so maybe that's a sign. We'll see. Eric Plunk. Remember, he was on, I think it was a Fleer rookie with Canseco. Could have been Donruss. I think it was Fleer. Von Hayes. Ike Horn. Junior Ortiz. Jeff Reardon. There's another insert. Oral Hershiser. Checklist card there. Dave LaPointe. Jay Buhner. Had a pretty good career. Tom Brunansky. Todd Benzinger, Steve Lyons, Ron Robinson, John Dobson, and Mark Langston. Andres Thomas, I think he was a rookie, Topps rookie all-star with the gold trophy in the 87 Topps set that we did recently. 40-40, yep, Canseco was a 40-40 man in 88, 40 steals, 40 home runs. That's cool. I think he had a Donruss special card with the 40-40 designation as well. I remember the Donruss because I think I had that one. Todd Froworth. Tom Hare, Roger McDowell. Wish I was going a little slower there. There it is. Bill Ripken, or Billy Ripken. So this is the one with the black. It's corrected with a black box. So I don't know if that means we don't have a chance of getting the unedited vulgar card in this box, and probably not. I'm assuming it's in the same box. It would probably be this corrected version, but very cool nonetheless. That's my first Bill Ripken 89 Fleer card. It is the corrected version, unfortunately. I don't know which one's worth more. I'm assuming it would probably be whichever is in less, they produced less of, and I'm not sure which one that is, but that's Bo Jackson. That's a very cool card too. Love Bo. Bob McClure, Scott Bales, Chris Sabo, Checklist, Charlie Hayes, Steve Curry, John Dunston. There's the Paul Molitor base card. We got the All-Star card earlier, so he's a Hall of Famer. And Tony Armas. So, let's see. Maybe we'll... I'm assuming that we can't get the actual Buck face card, but that is okay. The edited version is more or less piece of history as far as baseball card collecting goes. With I just remember that card and the hype around that card, and every kid wanted that card. They didn't want the edited version, and I don't blame them. I would still, regardless of the value, I'd rather have the one that had the dirty words on it. Dan Petrie, Gene Larkin, Darren Jackson, Jack Morris, Hall of Famer with Detroit there. Shortly move on to the Twins, where he'd win a World Series. Mark Davis, Reds top prospects. Lenny Harris, I believe, went on to become kind of a pinch hitter specialist. Danny Heap, Jeff Kunkel, I think he was a switch hitter. Lenny Harris, Jeff Parrott, George Brett. So now we're starting to pull some cards here. George Brett. Always like getting a George Brett card. Greg Harris, Rick Rhoden, Craig Biggio. So that is a, I believe that's a Craig Biggio rookie card. Hall of Famer, catcher at the time. He would play catcher for a few years before moving on to second base. Did you know his first major league home run off Cubs reliever Goose Gossage, fellow Hall of Famer, in 1988? Biggest day of 1988 season was 3-hit, 2 home run, and 2 RBI performance. So those 2 home runs were solo shots. Number 1 draft pick in 1987. So that is very cool, Craig Biggio. That's kind of what makes this opening these cards fun for me. Seeing a lot of these Hall of Famers. That Craig Biggio card's not worth, probably 50 cents if that. But it's still kind of for me, it's a connection to the game, and him as a Hall of Famer, to have his rookie actually pull it out of a pack is cool. It's worth the, not even calling it an investment, because it's not an investment. This is just really entertainment value of opening these packs of cards. It's like going to the movies. Rick, I don't know where I got Jeff. Rick Cerrone, Jack McDowell. Wow, he looks pretty young. I don't know. Yeah, he played in the league a couple of years. I think he gave the old one-finger salute to the. Can't remember if it was Chicago fans or Yankees fans. Can't remember, but I got in trouble for that. Norm Charlton, Johnny Paredes, Henry Cotto, Kelly Downs, Ted Power, Mike Sharperson, Randy Myers, Terry Pull, Bob Welch, Glenn Hubbard, Willie Randolph, Bruce Ruffin, and Pete O'Brien. So nothing doing in that pack. You can also follow us on Twitter. We try to stay active on Twitter. If you happen to watch this, tweet at us and tell us which of these cards you liked. Andres Galarraga, Gerald Perry, Ken Daly, Dave Clark, David Cohn, Larry Sheets, Mike Birkbeck, Jeff Montgomery, Sid Fernandez, John Farrell, Cal Daniels, Lance Johnson, Mike Krukow, not sure, Dennis Lamp, Vance Law, and Dan Plesac. So we're hitting a little bit of a dry spell here. Dustin's gonna be opening a lot more modern products. He's got a pretty good inventory right now, backlog of various boxes and some hobby boxes and things of that nature to open. I know he recently opened a box of Stadium Club, the new 2019 Stadium Club. Got some good hits there. The photography on that set's awesome. It's got some older players too. He's got some of the a lot of the new modern stuff that it's really cool. Nice cards. Dave Leeper, Rafael Santana, Larry Anderson, Jim Eppard, Manny Lee, Luis Polonia, Chris James, Cecil Fielder, Jeff Robinson, Alan Anderson, Bobby Bonilla. So the Pirates. Thought that might have been Big Barry Bonds, but nothing doing. Mike Dunn, Eric Hansen, and Willie D. So that 89 Fleer All-Star team, very reminiscent to the I did a box of 91 Fleer Ultra. Very reminiscent of the Ultra team, the gold, they often called Ultra Gold. You could almost replace that green color with a gold color, add one more photo, and you've got that card. I like that Ultra set though, opening that Ultra box. The problem with it is it was billed as a premium product, which it certainly was more premium than the ugly 91 Fleer, but you also had 91 Stadium Club that kind of set the new bar for premium that Upper Deck had kind of created back in 1989. And so the truth of the matter was that that 91 Fleer Ultra, if that had been the 91 Fleer set, that would have been great. But as a premium set, it was just kind of okay. They did a lot better in 92 Fleer Ultra. That was a pack that I bought a lot of. Fernando Valenzuela, Mark Williamson, Juan Agosto, Dave Stewart, Sandy Alomar Jr. That's a cool card. That's a nice posed photo there for a catcher. Steve Shields, Shane Raleigh, Gino Petrali, and Ozzie Virgil. So, not a lot going on. Not a lot of really good cards. I'd love to get another Griffey rookie, if I could be so fortunate. Oh, that's a cool. That's, as far as sensitivity goes, that's kind of fallen out of favor. But part of me kind of always loves that old school Braves logo and the Cleveland logo too. But I understand it's a little insensitive. Sean Hilligus, Atlee Hamaker. I don't know. That's Mike Boddicker, Damon Berryhill, Greg Brock, Jack Lazorko, Mark Davidson, Pat Perry, Lou Whitaker. We talked a little bit about him in the tops. People think he should be in the Hall of Fame. I don't know. Top prospects: Dave Anderson, Charlie Huff, knuckleballer. He pitched well into his 40s too. I'm sure he'll come up in some later videos. But man, 1970 to 88 at that point, and I know he pitched. I know I've got some cards of his from at least 92, not 93 or 94. So he pitched a lot. Born in Honolulu, Hawaii. Probably, imagine he's the son of a military person. Fred Smith, Floyd Bannister. All right, so we got 4 packs left. There's a lot of players that I haven't seen. No Wade Boggs. No Barry Bonds. Haven't gotten the Gary Sheffield rookie. No Nolan Ryan. No Andre Dawson. A lot of cards we haven't got. So we did get the Bill Ripken, and we got the King Griffey though. So if I were gonna say I could only get 2 cards, those would have been the 2 that I would have picked, and just got a card here that I just named. So there's the Gary Sheffield rookie card. Numbers alone, he probably worthy of the Hall of Fame. Dwight Gooden's cousin, I think. Pretty sure he got caught up in the PED stuff. Don't know if he ever got hit or if he was in the Mitchell report, but pretty sure that's what's kind of keeping him out of real consideration. Rick Honeycutt, Greg Gross, Mike Flanagan, Jim Gott, Greg Gagne, Jeff Blauser, Glenn Wilson, Bill McGuire, and Todd Burrell. So let's see. I just named that, and it came up. So maybe we can get, you know, I don't know. Honestly, I'd like to get another Griffey Jr. if I could pull anything, but we'll see. Phillies logo. Walt Weiss. Popping the collar there. Walt looking kind of, I think he thinks he's posing for a fashion magazine there. He's even got the look down, you know, trying to sell some shirts or something. Jackets, Gary Templeton, Mike Pagliarulo, Bill Bradley, Steve Buechele, Ron Gant, third base. I thought he played outfield. Will Clark and Rafael Palmeiro, teammates at Mississippi State. I'm sure this mentions that. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't, scanning through it, I don't see that, but that's cool. Hurt Ford, Carmen Castillo, Gary Carter, Hall of Famer. The original, The Kid, before Griffey became The Kid. Rick Shue, Paul Mirabella, Tom Flash Gordon. That's a rookie card there. Stephen King has a book called The Girl Who Loved Tom Gordon. My wife is a big Stephen King fan. Keith Miller, Britt Jacoby, and Jose Rijo. Found out in that 87 Topps box that I did that Jose Rijo started with the A's. There he is in 85, 86, A's. 87, I wonder why it goes from A's to Athletics. You see, it's 85, 86, A's, 87, Athletics. So, I don't know why they changed that, but got traded to the Reds and helped the Reds beat the A's in that 1990 World Series. Swept them, actually. Brooke Jacoby, Keith Miller. There's another Tom Gordon rookie, or I think this is the pack I just opened. Just picked it up, started sorting through it. We got 2 packs left, guys. 2 packs. Maybe we'll get something good here. Anaheim. Well, I guess that probably the California Angels at this point in time. Kent Herbeck, Ted Simmons, Rafael Belliard, Bill Swift, John Costello, Dwight Evans, Carlton Fisk. So there's a Hall of Famer with a quite lengthy career, particularly for a catcher. 71 to 88 at this point, all with a Sox team, whether it be the Red Sox or the White Sox. Van Snyder, Mike Fitzgerald, Jerry Reed, Candy Maldonado, Walt Terrell, Franklin Stubbs, Carl Nichols, and Billy Hatcher. So we're down to our last pack. Maybe we'll get something good here. To kind of recap, we did get probably the 2 most sought-after cards in the Bill Ripken card and the Griffey Jr. rookie card. So I guess it's all gravy after that. John Franco, his face looks kind of distorted there. Barry Jones, Kurt Manwaring, Jim Rice, Hall of Famer, Rafael Palmeiro. Without the PEDs, he would be a surefire Hall of Famer. Ted Higuera, Willie Frazier, John Moses, Mitch Webster, Jeff Robinson, Andy Hawkins, Pittsburgh prospects, Mike Devereaux, Jose Cecina, and Tim Wallach. Or Wallach. I don't know if it's Wallach or Wallach. So I think we did okay. You know, I'd love to have gotten some more stars there, some more Hall of Famers, but kind of quickly go through this. We got Paul Merrow, Jim Rice, Carlton Fisk, Gary Carter. There's another Rafi and Will Clark, Gary Sheffield rookie, Bobby Bonilla insert, Craig Biggio rookie, George Brett, Jack Morris, Paul Molitor, Bo Jackson. There's the Bill Ripken card. Very cool that we pulled that. 40-40 Canseco card, Oral Hershiser insert, Tony Gwynn, Robin Yount, Darryl Strawberry, David Winfield, Dennis Eckersley, Will Clark insert, Mike Schmidt, Don Mattingly, Roberto Alomar, Jose Canseco insert, Tim Raines, Ryan Sandberg, Ricky Henderson, Mark McGuire, Roger Clemens, Mark Grace, Eddie Murray, Kirby Puckett, Harold Baines, Lee Smith, John Smoltz, Darryl Strawberry, Dwight Gooden, Ramon Martinez rookie, Randy Johnson rookie, Edgar Martinez, Paul Molitor insert, Dwight Gooden, Ken Griffey Jr., Bruce Sutter, Kirby Puckett, Greg Maddox, Cal Ripken Jr., and Goose Gossage. So pretty good luck there. Feel free to comment with anything that you'd like to mention about this box. Follow us on Twitter if you haven't already. And until next time, we'll see you.